Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I'm coming to you today, Thursday the 25th of April in Australia. This is Anzac Day here now. For those of you that don't know, the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, that's what Anzac stands for. It's a day of commemoration where everything stops. We have a public holiday. We have dawn services right across the country in the towns, the villages, the cities, where our fallen soldiers and everyone indeed who has fought in those wars are commemorated. We then have an Anzac March again taking place in the towns and also in our major metropolitan cities where our soldiers will march. And of course a lot of them now are becoming older and can't march, and so family members often march with their medals on pinned to their chests. It's a real day of honouring the sacrifices that were made in all the wars by Australian and New Zealand soldiers. For me, speaking personally, my grandfather and my uncle and my father paid high prices in the war. My grandfather was lost down a bomb crater and suffered deafness while he was fighting in Turkey. And my uncle Frank, unfortunately, he enlisted way too soon. He wasn't even 18 when he enlisted, and he put his age up, and he saw really heavy action in the Middle East and was never really the same when he came back from that war. My dad served in New Guinea and always speaks with a kind of reverence about those New Guineans who helped them on the Kokoda Trail, bringing down the wounded soldiers to medical aid. So we stop here and we recall our loved ones. We recall the sacrifices that were made. There are honour rolls. Generally, you would do similar things in America for those that have been lost in the war, commemorating our soldiers. So that's Anzac Day here in Australia. This afternoon we'll all, although I don't, but my relatives will adjourn to the clubs and the hotels around the town, and they play two up again as a commemoration of those days that have gone past. So two up. I've certainly gone to two up in the past, and it's a lot of fun. But anyway, now on to matters at hand. Today I want to look at the impeachment of Donald Trump. I guess when you're looking on, it's probably easy to jump to conclusions. Why aren't they impeaching them? Mueller left a roadmap. Why aren't they impeaching Trump? What are they waiting for? They need to move now. And in many ways, I tend to agree with that viewpoint. However, the other aspect, of course, there are always multi-dimensional aspects here. The other aspect is they're waiting for to collect evidence, and Nancy Pelosi is urging her party to hold firm, stand firm, because there is new evidence coming in. Now, while that is occurring, Trump's and co. Their strategy is to stonewall, block, obstruct, tie it up, so it will prolong the actual information. When it's one thing to read the Mueller report, it's another to see various people that have mentioned or given evidence to Mueller speaking in Congress with the cameras turned on them and saying, well, Trump asked me to fire Mueller. It's another thing to see that. Now, what Trump is doing in every way, whether it's his tax returns, he's just trying to prolong the inevitable, but it is actually a valid strategy. What he's doing is he's trying to put enough time and distance between the Mueller report and its findings so that people will actually move on and forget about it. If he obstructs, and if he holds things up so much, so there's the danger in Pelosi's strategy in wait for the evidence. In the meantime, Trump is spinning it out, and goodness knows, again, what else is happening. We know that he obstructs. We know that there's a level of collusion there with foreign countries like Russia. What else is happening in the meantime while this evidence is, we're waiting for this evidence to be collected? Now, so we'll read on that. Will he be impeached? Why are they waiting? And, what's sort of like going to be the process. The other thing I also want to read on, this morning I read from the ABC that the New York Attorney General, now there's a distinction between the Attorney General, William Barr's, the DOJ and the various state officers, and then the actual state Attorney Generals. This is the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, has now got information from Deutsche Bank about Trump's business dealings, their records of his loans, etc. Now, she's following up that investigation following when Cohen appeared before Congress and talked about insurance fraud, etc., or potential insurance fraud and tax matters. So I want to make this clear that William Barr cannot interfere with that investigation. He has no jurisdiction in that investigation. So that's interesting, very interesting. So we'll read on that. What are those records likely to show? Now, I'm going to do an update on Trump, why he's fighting so hard regarding his taxes, and he's lying about them as well. We'll do a reading on that. But first to impeachment, shall we get started on our reading today? Thank you for all those people that have sent me support, and I really do appreciate it. I read everyone. I'm not able to reply to you because the way that they come through often doesn't list your email addresses, but suffice to say, I read all the messages. I have a great deal of gratitude for what you're doing, so thank you. And thank you also to viewers for comments. Right, let's get started. Impeachment. All right, impeachment. What do we need to know about impeachment? I am getting someone signing something. I don't know whether these are is it the articles of impeachment? But I am getting that really strong signature here. I do feel they're going to move. The calls to impeach him are so great that I do feel that they're going to move toward that inevitability. Okay, so will Trump? I'm not going to ask will he be impeached because I'm thinking that the impeachment begins. My impressions are it begins and he goes before it's concluded. But let's have a look. Will the Democrats begin impeachment proceedings? Will the Democrats begin impeachment proceedings? What do we need to know about that? Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got new beginnings here. So that's telling me, I mean, obviously that's a yes card. That's telling me that there is a way of putting this behind us, putting this whole chapter behind us. I'm thinking that they may very well do that. Let's see what else this reading has to say. Now, we've got a challenge here to impeachment. And I have to say that this is not the full, it doesn't have the full support of the House yet. I do believe there's a bit of a way to go. Now, there would be risks in going too soon before the evidence has a chance to emerge in addition to the Mueller report. Well, first of all, the full Mueller report needs to be received. I think there's about 12% there that's been redacted for various reasons, including ongoing matters, etc. But they need to see the entire Mueller report. I do feel that I have felt this morning, it's almost like, I just want to pause here. So these new beginnings are being challenged at the moment by, they're waiting, the Democrats are waiting for something. Now, before I started this reading, I got the impression of when you're lining up to race or to begin something, you've got to be careful you don't jump the gun, and that's the impression that I got, that they're aware of something here, that additional, that's going to come out. They've got more information than what we know, and they're playing this very, very carefully. They understand the high stakes. So at the moment, there's not. They either haven't received what they need, or they're waiting for the right time, so that will ensure they are successful in what they're doing. So the foundation of the reading, it's was the Easter long weekend. Everyone is working hard, working away. This is the Mueller report. I feel that they're not going to announce anything until they have a look at the full Mueller report. But I do feel that there's probably something in addition there as well. Now, in the past, the magnitude of what is going on in America is quite clear to us. We also understand that this is a high-stakes situation here. And, in the meantime, we're seeing this obstruction from Trump really trying to seize power, if you like, to take power away that he's not entitled to take. And so we see this, and it's quite distressing for us. What is hanging over this is loss here. This is their reaction to loss. So they're also aware at a deeper level that if they were to lose at this point, that this would be quite a substantial blow, really to everything. So again, I'm seeing this, strategy of not wanting to. They're trying to hold the line. They're not wanting to go too quickly. They're also, I will say, there is also a. They're being propelled also by the reaction to the Mueller report. So the calls for impeachment are growing louder and louder and louder from everybody. The Knight of Pentacles in the immediate future. I do believe that what they're waiting for is something to do with it's evidence to do with money, campaign donations, potentially this quid pro quo, for example. I do feel that they're waiting on some key information to do with money news. This is also patience as well, and reliability. So it's showing me that image that I got, that they're being extremely careful, is actually the current situation. Now, what we have now going on is Trump. This is theft, taking something, trying to seize something, theft, betrayal. This is the situation at the moment. Whatever they delay, we're increasing the chances of Trump doing things. I think now he's talking about, if he is impeached, it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. You have people musing and saying, well, impeachment proceedings is the domain of Congress, but my feeling is he would bring up the Mueller report and the genesis and how that started, etc., and again try and stall, prolong, tie it up in the courts, which is what he's already done. Now, obviously he wouldn't be successful, but that's not his strategy. His strategy is to delay. And the environment around this whole matter is the calls. Meanwhile, while ever the Democrats are waiting, the calls are just growing louder and louder. People want action. They want action now. They say, what more do you need? You've got the Mueller report. It's got everything in there, evidence, footnotes, appendices, etc. It's all documented before a grand jury. What more do you need? Now, the hopes and the fears here is the Empress card. Now, this is the fear that Trump will, unfortunately, take advantage of the situation successfully. And the fear also is that there is a lot to lose. There is an abundance of material in the Mueller report as well. So all of these things are playing out into this decision to start impeachment or not. Now, the final outcome card is the Chariot, which is suggesting, yes, they are going to start impeachment proceedings, and they're going to move quite quickly as soon as they do. We've got the Death card here, which is signifying the ending in some way of Trump's presidency. And we've got the King of Pentacles here being Trump, the businessman. So I feel that they're waiting. They're going to wait. They're hoping to get some kind of link between the Trump campaign and donations and some kind of monetary promise, perhaps. And I have read before on the Mueller reports multiple references to the Moscow Tower, the Trump Moscow Tower. I do feel that there are, within the Democrats, in those judicial committees, etc., and indeed Democrats themselves are former prosecutors, etc., they know what they're doing, and I do feel they're waiting. However, it's at a tipping point now, because the longer they wait, the more that this is occurring on the part of Trump and his attorney generals. What's hidden from our view is the Nine of Wands. Now, this is, of course, someone who's just fought a great battle and they're quite weary. We shouldn't underestimate that aspect of this situation on both sides of, on the Democrats' part. They've been fighting now on the back foot for a couple of years. The midterms turn that situation around. Then we have Trump as well. But at the end of the day, we're all pretty fatigued from the way that the situation has been prolonged. And I'll say more on that toward the end of this reading. So they are going to move to impeachment. They are waiting on a key piece of information. They're not all, this is Pelosi, this is probably the senior members of the Democrats. They're trying to hold back. Others from moving ahead or calling too loudly. They need this full Mueller report, but it is something. It's more than the full Mueller report. It's a key bit of information that they've already gleaned and that they have in focus. And I do believe it's to do with the some kind of monetary promise or monetary exchange here. So now let's have a look. What else do we need to know about that particular situation? Okay, we'll ask, given Trump's threat to take it to the Supreme Court and his blocking, let's just ask, is Trump trying to delay so that public opinion will swing more toward him, that people will forget about the Mueller report? I just want to cut these cards so that we don't pick up any energies from that last reading. Is Trump trying to delay, obstruct, etc., tie things up? He's not allowing people to be subpoenaed. He's trying to block subpoenas. He doesn't want cameras. He doesn't want the words coming out of the mouth. He's doing everything he can to hold things back. Is he waiting or hoping that people will move on from the Mueller report and not pursue it in some way? It's like evidence growing cold. It's that cold case type of strategy. Is this what do we need to know about Trump's current obstructions? Will they be successful, for example? Current obstructions. Will they be successful? Trump obstruction, subpoenas, courts, tying things up. Will they be successful? Right, cover-ups. He doesn't want those cameras in the Congress. He doesn't want it broadcast across the land so that everybody hears. He understands that the one thing that voters, regardless of what affiliation they are, will not tolerate is someone who is not a patriot. He understands. From his meeting with Putin in Helsinki, he understands that would be it. That would be something that's a bridge too far for people. He wants to avoid that at all costs. Now, he's being challenged by the law isn't on his side. The powers, it's quite clear, the power of the Congress as a co-equal branch of your US government. He's quite clear that it is not going to be successful. But this is suggesting that he's at a crossroads and he's trying to delay the inevitable. This is also suggesting he has a decision he will have to compromise at the end of the day. Right, it is the foundation of the reading is the Five of Swords. It is an abuse of power. There's no doubt about it. He is abusing his power. Now, in the past, he's trying to stop the lid being taken off. This Queen of Cups comes up so often. He's trying to stop further evidence coming out. And look, the present potential of this whole situation is the things may not be illuminated. But on the other hand, there are two sides to this card. You have a light side and a shadow side. Which is it going to be? Is that information going to be revealed, or is it going to stay buried? Let's see. It's going to be revealed. Inevitably, the Ten of Swords is talking about someone. This is the Dark Night of the Soul. This is not a pleasant card. This is an ending for someone. So the Knight of Cups again brings forward some kind of proposal being put to somebody. And the environment around again is this loss here. This is also at another level. I do feel that we've got Trump supporters who were potentially seduced, we'll use the word seduced, are actually turning away. Now, we had the longest serving representative in the Iowa Congress, is that what you call it, in the Iowa government, actually defected from the Republican Party, saying he could no longer support Donald Trump. We also had a prominent member in Republican circles in the past who was part of the transition team, saying it's time to impeach. So this is what he's trying to stave off, but unfortunately this is saying that this is the situation at the moment. People are moving away. Now, his hopes and fears. Look at these cards. This is, as I said, this is not someone who is who's in a winning position. And we've got we've got this final outcome card. Unfortunately, this is saying that for the moment, the future is obscured to us. This is around choices, not having enough clear air, not having enough vision to be able to make the right choice. This is also Trump as well. He's operating in this, I guess, environment internally within himself and also externally. I would like to bet that the White House is operating in this mode. I feel that there is a level of chaos in this card here. Let's get some clarifiers here. Yeah, okay, the Knight of Swords is talking about the truth actually coming forward. So he will try and delay. This is costing Trump. Make no bones about that. This is really an inevitability. And we've got the Queen of Swords, which is talking about Congress and the impeachment. So he is using the law to obstruct, to delay. But I'm seeing that potentially here, that if he does try and stop impeachment in the Supreme Court, my feeling is if it gets to the Supreme, it may not get to the Supreme Court. That's my feeling. I feel that that courts that it may only get to a level. I'm not sure how your legal system works, but this isn't a King of Swords. This isn't an emperor. It may not get to the Supreme Court at all. Now, what's hidden from our view? This, as always, is what the Ten of Pentacles is, the Trump dynastic wealth. It is the Trump organization. This is what he's trying to avoid. us getting a good look at exactly what has gone on, because the Mueller report stopped short, really, as far as I know. But we've got those other investigations, ongoing investigations. Stops short, doesn't bring forward the financial trail, if you like, between the Trump organization, but it could be in those other investigations. So what's hidden from our view is that we could actually see this could even be the investigations in the other jurisdictions. So I feel that one way or another he's going to be stopped before he even gets to. So I don't feel it's going to get to the Supreme Court. I feel that he doesn't have the legality to stop impeachment through delaying it at the Supreme Court level. So he hasn't really. He's still fighting. He's fighting like a caged animal. So let's have a look at this. I'm just going to go to that news article here. Okay, Deutsche Bank has begun turning over documents to New York's AG. Now she's, as I said, following up the investigation that resulted from Cohen's testimony. Okay, now what are these records in Deutsche Bank are likely to bring forward? At what point does he realise he's fighting a losing battle? The Mueller report was enough. Okay, so what are these records that the Attorney General in New York has received? Letitia James. What will they reveal? Deutsche Bank. What are they going to reveal? These records reveal. Okay, so they're definitely going to wound, that's for sure. Okay, so let's have a look here. They're going to be quite substantial. Trump again, defending himself. It's a little bit, though, this card is a post-battle card. So really, he's wounded and he's defending himself. Yep, here she is. She's the foundation of the reading. And she's pursuing the truth. In the past, we've got an abuse of power. Now, that's interesting. An abuse of power. An abuse of power. Hiding something. Taking something away from someone else. And hiding something. Okay, what has he done here? Okay, it's okay, an abuse of power. All right, and it's to do with his income. So I do feel that this is leading to not just his insurance frauds, but fraud or potential insurance fraud. There are tax matters here as well. Okay, it looks like she's going to be successful in getting the information that she wants. Not beyond Deutsche Bank. This is I feel the investigation. This is the situation at the moment. I feel that there is an abundance in those records, an abundance of information. This also could be pointing to a time as well. We might not see the end of these investigations for another, 9 to 12 months. Now, we've got the much more to come forward. The High Priestess in the atmosphere around this investigation. A lot is to come forward. She's not just got... she's also got records from other banks as well. So I feel that the information that she's gathering is quite potentially quite strong. Now we've got the hopes and fears. We've got the death card. And okay, so what she's going to uncover in the Deutsche Bank records is not just information on insurance and tax. It's actually going to be who loaned Trump money, where did it come from, the King of Pentacles. Okay, Trump himself, Trump the businessman, and it's going to show when he was losing money, when he took a financial loss, who bailed him out. Okay, that's what these records are going to show. Now, what's hidden from our view is the Hierophant here. This is the government. So I do feel that, oh gosh. Okay, I do feel that those Deutsche Bank, sorry for my hands in front of the camera, I do feel that those Deutsche Bank records are going to be quite damning for him. Okay, so look, a lot going on, really a lot going on. I'm just going to change decks because we're at 30 minutes now. And I'm just going to pull from another deck on exactly where Trump is at the moment in all of this. So I was using the Rider-Waite deck previously, and I'm just switching to the John Holland Psychic Tarot. This can bring forward, I guess, can couch information in a more, I guess, spiritual way, which allows us to kind of just lift ourselves up a bit, because I know it's extremely stressful for what is going on at the moment. If you're not in constitutional crisis, you're very close to it, where one arm of the government is refusing to cooperate with the other. Now, I know that happens in your Senate all the time. I'm talking about the President, and the DOJ and his Attorney General are actually not cooperating lawfully, I would say lawfully, with the House requests, those subpoenas. So what do we need to know? What is the ultimate high-level message here for viewers? How can they understand that this is a process and not really get so freaked out or distressed about it, to kind of take that, put a bit of distance here, to take, become observers of this and understand that in the end everything will be okay. What are the messages here from Spirit? Messages here from Spirit. Okay, I'm just getting that there are eyes everywhere on this situation, that it is so huge and so keenly watched that there won't be the opportunity for cover-ups. At the end of the day, this cannot be covered up. Trump is fighting an inevitable battle. Now, what we have to be careful for is don't fall down that deep pit. Don't descend to the level of don't fill yourself with those negative emotions, which is easy to do when we're angry. So that's not going to hurt. Trump's not listening to the anger that's in you. That's only going to affect you. So just stand back, take a deep breath, and understand that at the end of the day, this is going to be too big for anyone to obstruct or cover up. Messages from Spirit. What do we need to know? Okay, the sacral chakra. That's interesting. The sacral chakra. Okay, now this governs our creativity. We pulled a chakra card, so this is talking about our health. Those lower chakras are, around our trust in the world. And this sacral chakra is I guess, just counseling to keep that distance, to stand back a little bit. Don't muddy the waters for yourself, and watch how you're using your energy. Now we've got the 3 here. We've got the Empress, the fertility card. This is talking, understanding where we're coming from here. Let me just bring down this is an interesting pull on these cards. The sacral chakra governs creativity and also our relationships with other people as well. We've got abundance here. So this is, again, talking about keeping that energy positive, understanding that things will be okay. There is abundance for us at the end of the day. Now we've got the High Priestess coming forward here, and it's funny, and so we've got the Empress, we've got the Sacral Chakra, and we've got the High Priestess coming forward. This is the card of intuition, and it's saying, when we're angry and we're descending into, we've seen a negative news report, or we've seen the Republicans coming out, or we've seen Trump, walking the walk and whatever he does. It's very easy to get caught up with the superficiality of those messages, but this card is saying dig deep, use your intuition, understand that you are the creator here. No one else is the creator. You are. And we've got the 5, which is wisdom, which is the Hierophant card here. And so this is, again, counselling. Use your intuition. Be wise about this. Watch your thoughts and watch, the emotions, as I was talking about in transformation. Emotions are the energetic expressions of your thoughts. Keep your thoughts wise here, and keep your energy balanced. Gosh, these cards. Okay, this is temperance and balance in the tarot, and this is saying keep your thoughts balanced. Okay, understand that there is a karmic situation here. This is equating to the Wheel of Fortune here, and the word on this is destiny. The word on this is destiny. Understand that destiny is at play. And don't get trapped in the fear. This is the 8 of Swords here, which is the card of restrictions, self-sacrifice. I talked about those energies, keeping those energies high. And the 3 of Swords, knowing that partnerships and alliances, working together and repair, is actually going to be the end outcome of all of this. There will be, at the end of the day, in the wash-up, there will be something that needs to be cleaned up, and everybody is going to have to participate in that. We're all going to have to learn from this, but this is also the card of something good being fixed, something of value being fixed, and also something of lasting and sustainable value emerging as well from the hard work that will need to be done. So I'm going to leave it there, and get back to my Anzac Day now. And I will catch you again soon. Thank you again for all your support. Those cards certainly, there's a counsel there for hard times, but beyond that, in the other readings, those cards were quite informative about what's happening, remembering that Trump is trying to play a game where he puts distance between the Mueller report, hoping that everybody will have moved on. But that's just not going to happen, because destiny is at play here. Destiny is at play. So keep your thoughts. Don't get trapped in the fear. Keep your thoughts wise. Use your intuition, and understand that we're actually repairing something here, and it's in the bigger picture, it's going to affect all of us, including me in Australia. We're repairing something. The implications of this particular time in our history are monumental. Okay, thank you, viewers, and I'll be back soon. Thank you very much.